Angel and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning and happy Monday. We kick off every week with our very favorite superstar. It is RockstarArms, Natalie Dau. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for that.
Of course. Well, we say superstar and our own rock star because you have achieved so much, and 2024 has definitely been a record-breaking year for you with your Project 1000.
I know, yeah, it's been crazy when I look back. It's all a bit surreal, to be honest.
And it all comes to realization because you've got a documentary that's premiering this Saturday. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, the Project 1000 documentary is out. We are premiering at the projector at Cine Leisure at 11 o'clock on Saturday, which is part of a bigger community event.
Ooh, we've
lost your audio. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about that on the Big Show TV, but what Nat was saying is they are showing the documentary at the projector at Cine Leisure this Saturday, 11 a.m. We're pinning the invite to our Facebook page, so you can go have a look at that and buy your tickets there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's go to the Big Show TV. Here's Alex Warren with Before You Leave Me.
No, we don't have you.
We got. Okay, she's going to log out and come back in.
Yeah, she'll log out and come back in.
Okay, so
I reckon it's going to be a great idea for a Saturday morning.
It is, I think. Yeah.
Saturday morning into lunch, it's a great way to spend some time, get a bit motivated, I think.
Absolutely. Are you back?
I'm back. I
You're back.
you guys. Yeah,
We can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect.
Okay, I think we still have a bit of time. Can we show that video? Okay, we've actually got the video, but we'll show it in a while once the producers are ready of your trailer for Project 1000. So
thank you.
You were saying, carry on.
Yes, so saying it's part of a bigger running event. We're getting the whole of the Singapore running community together on Saturday morning for shakeout runs, for panels, for free breakfast. So whether you're a beginner runner or you're experienced, come along. Everyone is welcome this Saturday. So it'll be a really fun event.
So it's all
Awesome.
happening at Cine Leisure?
It sure is. That is the hub for running this weekend.
So where do people meet then? Because your documentary showing at 11. So what are the details for the running event?
So when 7 a.m. for a
Oh my
shakeout
God.
run. Yeah, that's okay. And it's only going to be like around 3K, so everyone's invited. And then breakfast after that. Then there's panels. We've got local running groups coming together to sell their merch. Everything is going to charity. So it's going to be a really fun event. You know, I'm thinking hundreds and hundreds of people will be attending. So come and be part of it. Even if you don't know
Nice.
anyone
Yeah.
there, just come.
Do
Yeah.
people need to sign up for that one or just come?
They can sign up online. It would be great just to know how many for breakfast. But if you leave it last minute, just pop along. I'm sure we can fit you in.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be really cool.
Sounds like a good morning to have.
Yeah, be a good morning.
Okay, so why don't we work out first and then we will see if we can get that video playing after the workout. What are we doing today?
We are doing a runner's warm-up since it's all about running this week with 30,000 people running this weekend. So I thought I'd give everyone a great warm-up they can do before their race.
Great.
Fabulous.
Yes, super, super easy, guys. So we're going to do 45 seconds of work, 15 of rest. Getting ready to go. We're doing a lunge first. So we're going to do a lunge and then we're twisting just to loosen up that back and legs. So we're doing both sides here. This way might be just to get things moving. I know it's hard if you're starting in a starting pen, but this is a really good way just to warm up those legs. You don't want to race off and sprint off the start line and pull a muscle before you're even 1K in. So these are some simple ones we can all do at the bare minimum. Good job. And it doesn't matter if you're a fast runner or a slow runner, we should all be doing these. Okay, so we've warmed up our quads. We're going to do our hamstrings next. Getting ready to go. Shake out those legs. If you're doing a race, you'll always find your hamstrings are probably sore afterwards because we generally go a little bit faster when we're racing and put pressure on those hamstrings. So we're just on our heel and coming down. So you can really feel the stretch at the back of your legs here. Nice and steady. And even just one set of this is great if you can manage it. A couple is always better. But just something to activate those muscles. Give me one more rep. All right, now we just need to get those legs nice and warmed up, get that heart rate going a little bit. So we're going to do some quick feet. Getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. So let's get those legs working. Everything moved up, loosened up as well. Good job. Getting that heart rate spiking a little bit. It's okay to be standing on the start line with a little bit of sweat. That means you're nice and warmed up. That's it. I can feel everything jiggling this morning. Good job. A few more seconds here. All right, shake that out. Now, don't forget about your upper body, which is what we're going to do next. Just some chest openers. So we'll do a couple of different exercises here. All right, so we're just going to open up our chest. As we're running, we're probably hunched over. Hence, no doubt, with our shoulders up by our ears and hunched like that. So we really want to keep that chest nice and open so we can get some good deep breaths in when we're running. That's it. Really squeeze that back as well. Nice job. And then we're going to switch to above as well. So you can either alternate or do half and half this way. Good job. Focus on opening those lungs. All right, shake that out. And the last one we will do is a leg swing. So we'll do half the time on each leg. If you've got something you can grab hold of, or someone you can grab hold of, I would suggest that. All right, and we're going to swing. Doesn't have to be super crazy high. We just want to really get some movement in that leg, some blood flowing. We're doing front ones, but of course you should do side to sides as well. So that's an extra one you can do after this. Let's change sides. And I normally think like 20 on each leg is a good thing to aim for if you're not timing them. Just make sure you're not kicking anyone in front of you if you're doing this in the pen. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, we should be nice and warmed and ready to race now.
Okay, that was nice.
Wow.
That was good. I feel all stretched out.
So Nat, like when you're running, I mean, a lot of your the work is done with the lower half of the body because of your legs and all that. How important is it to work the upper half in terms of prepping it? Like you were doing the shoulders and stuff because you said sometimes you're hunched over and all that. So how important is it to warm that up as well?
Super, super important because people will find their arms will get sore actually. So you find your biceps and even, even hands because you're holding it in this position for such a long amount of time. So that's why I always say to people, core work is essential too, because without a strong core, you're bent over. So you really want to focus on core work in the lead up. So you've got the nice posture when you're running as well.
What about eating prior to the race? Do we carbo load the night before? What do we do?
Yeah, so this is always an interesting one. Everyone uses it as an excuse to have a big plate of pasta. Personally, it's a yes and a no from me. It increases your glycogen stores, which is fine in your muscles, and this is good for energy if you're going for maybe more, a quicker run. But if you're 90 minutes or more, you want to actually be digging into that fat to burn that fat for as long as possible before you use the glycogen. So I say work on being fat adapted in the lead up, and then when you have the carbs in the race, whether that's a form of a gel or banana, then you're going to just really take on those carbs fast, and it's going to give you instant energy. So I say don't go crazy with carbs the night before a race.
It's so interesting because when you say carbs and then you say banana, I'm like, no, that's not a carbohydrate. It's just a fruit. I have bananas every morning. Because not a lot of people think that. They think carbs are like rice and noodles and pasta and pizza, right?
And stuff like that,
but not so much fruit.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's why you'll see things like sometimes watermelon along the way, which is a great source because it's instant sugar. It's an instant carb rather than eating a candy or something. So, and gels are gels because they're easy to carry and they're an easy source to get down when you're running. So sometimes you don't want to stop and eat a banana. It's a bit hard to digest that along the race.
Okay.
Angel and her bananas.
It helps me get through the morning.
Kiss 92 traffic.
The traffic is pretty good out there. If you do spot anything unusual on and off the roads, let us know. It's 8855-0920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Monday, and that's why we have with us RockstarArms, Natalie Dau. And, I'm looking at my screen. For those of you who are watching us on The Big Show TV, I see Angel's shoulder. Why are you in my screen?
Sorry. Okay, I'll move. I'm so territorial
There you go.
this
That's
morning.
better.
I'll move as far away from you as possible.
Yes, now I have the full screen.
You have your own little space. Okay, we're speaking to Natalie Dau as we do every morning, and we're also talking about the premiere of Project 1000. It's the documentary that they put together of her record-breaking feat with her 1,000-kilometer run from Thailand to Singapore. We still can't believe you did it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, nobody would ever think of doing something like that, yet alone even think about doing it.
I couldn't even run 2 kilometers over the weekend.
Yeah, you know what is interesting? Okay, I feel like my stamina has built up. So I've got a stationary bike at home, and I have found that if I count up, so let's say I want to do 20 minutes. I find it more difficult to go from 0 to 20 minutes, but I find it better to go from 20 to 0. From 20, counting down from 20 to 0.
That's interesting.
And that way I last longer.
It is, and you know there's an end point because at 20, if you're counting up, you sort of can give yourself an excuse to go, I'll just do 15 instead of 20. But if you're counting down, you've got to get to that 0. So it's much better from a mindset point of view to count down than up.
Yes,
That's
exactly. Like I hit 8 minutes and it's counting down. I'm like, you know what? If I did 8, I can just finish 3 more and then I keep going until it's 0. And I find that I do a lot more. I did 28 minutes on the weekend when I normally do 8 minutes. So my stamina has really built up, and I'm doing things.
Well,
like
you're cycling very slowly anyway.
No,
you can just go on the bike and just cycle and watch a sitcom or something like that. Boom!
I'm doing
half
it
an
at
hour.
100 RPM minimum.
Wow,
So that is not slow.
That is fast.
It's not
In
slow at all.
28 minutes.
I'm looking at you. I find that quite hard to believe.
Oh wow! Thanks, guys.
As in consistently?
Consistently, the least I do is 95. The least it doesn't drop
that's
below
something.
95.
Wow.
That is something.
Yeah, there you go. Impressed yet? Anyway, speaking of impressive,
Even Nat has doubts.
no,
Hey, don't speak for other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Why are you putting words in her mouth? Okay, Natalie, we're talking about impressive, and we're talking about your premiere of your Project 1000 documentary, which happens this Saturday. We've pinned all the details to our Facebook page. You can also go onto Google and just Google Project 1000 documentary. The Eventbrite ticketing system pops up there. But we want to watch the trailer.
Yes, well, yeah, you definitely can. It's on my Instagram. We've got a couple of different links, and I will say the documentary comes with a warning. Sometimes it's nudity or whatever. This one just comes with crying warnings because I'm crying a lot, and it's so important.
I think most people would have cried.
Yeah.
1,000 kilometers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Incredible. Crazy.
So how many times exactly did you cry throughout the 1,000 kilometers?
Oh, I lost count. I haven't cried since. I don't think.
You all cried out. Well, we actually have the trailer. Shall we watch it on the Big Show TV?
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah. So let's head to the Big Show TV to watch it.
It's 8:18.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by...
Okay, we're ready. We're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the trailer to Natalie Dau's Project 1000.
I'm about to embark on the journey of a lifetime.
Nat, are you ready to go?
A 1,000 kilometre run.
Feeling good, nearly halfway.
From Thailand to Singapore, doing 2 marathons a day for 12 days.
This is our starting point to run the Guinness World Record for fastest time on Malaysia Peninsula.
What's the update all around?
Day one, we went out a little bit hard, I think, hence the problem. It's on again. Same, no different, love.
The heat was our biggest enemy.
Day 3 is going to be tough. Legs are good, ladder not so good. 200 to go. Still a long way.
This infection is positive.
Everyone was worried, is this over?
Holy 500 in the middle of nowhere.
I really want to prove to women out there that they can do it.
You're a fighter.
I am a fighter.
Oh my God. I know what you mean now by the tears. I'm like welling up as well.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's that
something,
easy.
though. That's
It's that
something.
easy. Well done, Nat.
Yeah.
Still can't believe you did it.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I mean, when you look back now, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it is a bit surreal, to be honest. And thinking about you're reliving it with the team, and you really miss that bubble of being in that time for 12 days and really on your own, and not thinking about anything else. So it's sort of a selfish thing that my job was just to get up and run. And now it's sort of, you're back to real life, and it feels like just something that happened in the past.
Wow.
Would you have done anything differently?
I think start times. We would have started earlier right from the start rather than move that. And apart from that, not much more. I think that the start times would be the biggest one.
What time did you start?
We started running originally at 5, and then we changed it to 1 a.m.
Oh, why would that be easier? Because of the cooler weather?
Yeah, because of the traffic and the cooler weather.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because that still
yeah.
counts as a day, right? As long as you start after midnight.
And we lost, and so therefore we lost sleep because we kept changing the times
Yeah.
and things.
Yeah.
So that was the hard part. Yeah.
And you mentioned in the trailer that you started day 1 too hard. Would you, if you ever did it again, would you hold back with something like that?
Yes, I would have done. I went up way too hard and too excited. So definitely would have. What we did was, like the run for an hour, have a little break, run for an hour, have a little break. I would do that from the start next time, absolutely, rather than just go all in and finish one marathon, then a second marathon. I'd be breaking it up, definitely.
So you said next time, would you do this all over again?
Oh, but maybe we'll see.
Easy. Of course, FD will want you to do another one.
No. I'm just saying because it's one of those. You reach this milestone in your life, and it's such a huge milestone.
And you're like, why would you want to do it again?
Why would you do it again? You know.
Yeah,
You'd have
Never
to
mind.
be mad.
Yeah, never say never.
Never
Yep.
say never.
We'll let Nat think about it.
True.
Yeah.
True enough.
Okay. Well,
I think we can go back on the Big Show.
are we going back on
air? We can go
on air with
on
Nat?
air with Nat. Yeah, one last time.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Stand by.
All right. Angel, you have to be running with me now. You're so fit.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a couple more days.
At 100 for 28 minutes. So I can't do that.
No.
I can't. It's impossible.
That is
It's
fast.
not impossible.
It's impossible.
But it's not
Fast,
impossible.
Angel. That's fast.
It is fast. It's not
Consistently, not even slowing down.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
At that speed.
That's fast.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Just one situation on the BKE towards the PIE. This is at the KJE PIE exit. A vehicle has broken down. If you spot that, please stay out of its way. And wherever you are today, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We just watched the trailer to Natalie Dau's Project 1000 Believe. And that's, you've mentioned it already, right? Because I went to the toilet just now.
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to be, there's going to be a screening this coming Saturday.
That's right. And it's all, they're building it up from 7 a.m. because they have a whole running event, 3 kilometers around town. There'll be breakfast, there'll be talks. And then at 11 a.m., they're screening Project 1000 at the Projector Cine Leisure Cinemas. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. Just Google Project 1000 documentary.
Excited, Nat?
Yeah, super excited. A little bit scared, but super excited.
And of course, if you want to catch the trailer, you can just follow Nat if you aren't already following her at RockstarArms. She's got the trailer in her link as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Nat, for joining us today.
Thanks, guys, and to everyone racing this weekend, good luck, and I'll see you next week. I'll see you at the premiere. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Nat.
Bye.
All right, up next, we've got Nian Tjoe with us, and we'll be talking about motorcycle helmets.
Yes.
These motorcycle helmets are...
A new standard?
Yeah, a new standard. You can also use it when you skateboard.
No.
And when you... No? Okay.
Well, I don't know. Let's find out from the expert.
All right, meantime, here's Kelly Clarkson. My Life Would Suck Without You on Kiss 92. And here's the man, Nian Tjoe.
Yay! Okay, new standards pave the way for motorcycle helmets with quick release straps to be used in Singapore. What exactly
I
are
told
those?
you, the helmets. You see, when you buy those helmets for your bike, bicycle helmets, skateboarding helmets, or whatever, it's also quick release, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Good morning.
Morning.
So the news here is that this is really specific to motorcycle helmets, and actually the way that they are testing and the standards and all that, the way that has been done earlier, made it difficult for this quick release helmets mechanisms to be allowed in Singapore. Right, and then the motorcyclists will be familiar when you buy a helmet. You will say, "Is this approved? Is this like PSB approved?" It needs a label, right?
Yeah.
So the what has been happening in the market is that you cannot find a helmet that is approved, right? That actually features this quick release. And why is quick release important? Or the main part is the convenience, of course. But it's also because of the inconvenience of the existing system, which is this double D ring thing.
Yeah.
You actually end up either you fumble, it's a bit irritating. But I think more likely than not, you're gonna have people just like, I'm just do it in a half-hearted way, right?
Not securing it properly.
Yeah.
It at all.
Yeah, because it's a bit warm and this is a really short ride. I'm just this is just 3 blocks away.
For the old one you're talking about?
Yeah, the old one, the existing one.
Existing one. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was a really nice, a good development that the body that looks into setting the Singapore standards have actually taken in this sort of feedback that says that, hey, we gotta do something about it. And from my understanding, this is actually a combination of efforts from the people who are trying to sell helmets, people who are using helmets, and also the experts that looks at the safety and the medical side of things.
How about in terms of safety? Is it as safe as the rings?
So as far as we know, it is as safe.
Okay.
Why it is? Because elsewhere in the world, these test standards, they do put these things through the rigors of testing. In other words, the manufacturers are also building these helmets with these features to these very high standards, and these are globally recognized standards.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like something like that. It's a clip, right? It's a button where you press and then you pull out.
Kind of
right?
like our seat belts, when you get in the car.
Is it? Will it be more susceptible to wear and tear though? That clip becomes a little bit, worn out. Rather than the double ring.
I think it's a fair point. But on the other side of things is that when I ask helmet users, motorcyclists, right? They say that actually a lot of them they go. There's even a concern that when you drop your helmet, and that happens once in a while, you leave it on a bike, it falls off, or you leave it at the table, it falls off. A couple of hard impacts, and increasingly, I'm hearing from bikers who say that I get a bit conscious about it. It might look okay, it's not like it's scuffed or anything, but I would change my helmets.
Oh.
Yeah, and there is a lifespan, a recommended lifespan of the helmet is around 5 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I think we have a bigger problem.
What?
Right, this whole new standard clip approval and all that. I mean, it's great because it's an option. You can still use the double D ring as well. So you just have an added option. As people continue to try this out, they will figure out not whether they like it.
It works for them,
and whether it works for them. But I think the bigger problem are helmets that are fake.
Yes.
These people who are selling helmets like on some of the online platforms and stuff like that, I think that is a concern.
That's true.
Because there's so many people out on the road right now, so many motorcyclists who are wearing helmets that are
not approved,
fake and not approved. So if something were to happen, I mean, what chances do they have? But how do we police that? We probably can't. I mean, I just saw someone the other day, on the bike, very cute on a Vespa with a Dumb and Dumber helmet. Right, so I was looking at it. I'm like,
you mean
how
the little
protective is this?
the half
Yeah.
bowl helmet?
That's what.
Yeah.
No, it was featured also in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
But those are legal here, aren't they?
No.
Are they legal?
They're not.
It cannot be.
As far as I know, they're not legal.
But I've seen people use those
Of course,
on the road,
everyone is wearing it. I mean, it looks very fashionable.
It's very vintage.
It's very
looking,
vintage.
yeah.
But it doesn't protect you, you see.
I have seen quite a few people wearing it.
Yeah.
Good point. One thing, unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with the policing. But the more I get into this topic of like getting in touch with motorcyclists and all that, I start to realize that we kind of raised this in earlier in the year as well. There is actually there is more consciousness among riders that they should be safe, right? You have at the same time they do want these facilities. I want to get a good helmet to protect my nugget. I want to have a simple jacket, for example, that to just give me the added protection. There is rising demand. The problem here is that at the selling side of things, businesses go, this helmet is tested to the best in the world, but come to Singapore, cannot pass.
Oh,
yeah. So that's one element, and I think what Glenn pointed out about whether they're counterfeits or dodgy source. This is a big issue because consumers might be none the wiser. I go online or whatever it is.
You see a cute helmet.
Yeah, you see a cute helmet, and
why not?
A really fashionable one.
Yeah,
maybe not just cute. There are those that will be. Say this looks like the racy one. This is the one I see in MotoGP. Right? If the guy can go at 300 kilometers, he has a fall, he stands out and curses at the other rider. Must be good, right? It's strong. The problem or the risk is that when a user buys it, whether it's overseas or you buy it online, and then this helmet that looks as good as the one that was on the podium, it's not the same thing. It's not bona fide.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the concern is really about whether the helmets that you can find online are actually what they claim to be, or are they counterfeits?
Got to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
I mean, I use golf shafts as an example. Some of these really, really expensive shafts and all that, you can get it for a fraction of the price, and they look exactly the same if you buy it online. Wow. Okay, we're going on there.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the AYE towards Tuas after Clementi Road's exit, avoid lane 1. An accident has been reported. Also on the AYE towards Tuas, a vehicle's broken down before Penjuru Road's exit. Wherever you are, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for today is the Senior Transport Correspondent From the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe, and we're talking about motorcycle helmets today. Why doesn't the LTA make it compulsory for all motorcyclists to wear full-faced helmets?
This is interesting that you say that. When my dad bought me my first motorbike, he insisted on a full face.
But it wasn't allowed for a while. It was only quite in the last 20 years, maybe?
No.
That it was, I don't think it was that long. No, that it was approved.
Okay,
Before that, it wasn't.
But we bought shoeies here more than 20 years ago.
Right, so...
Did you get the label?
Did you get the label? Yeah, it wasn't approved.
So out there in the real world, you have parallel imported helmets. You go into and even the sellers of these helmets, they'll have those that are meant for export, right? That's the term we use. Remember the days when you were buying? Yeah. And it really means that they've not been, these helmets, these so-called export helmets, parallel imported helmets, are officially not allowed to be used in Singapore. And it's not that they're safe or not safe. That's secondary. It's just whether they've been tested in Singapore to the standards that Singapore demands. Yeah, so for quite a long period, I think a lot of the motorsports helmets were not didn't go through this approval process for a variety of reasons. One is the fact that these helmets are on their own very expensive.
Yeah.
And there are not that many hardcore enthusiasts who say, I want this model. And then there are all these different variations, right? Some may have this feature, some may have not. And it's a pretty hefty cost to get these helmets tested, because the first part is that helmets can be sacrificed. They need to be broken. So imagine if you're looking at a top tier high performance helmet and you go like, oh, this is like $2,000, $3,000 for example. Well, how many of these do you plan to sell in a year? Right? And then of this shipment that you bring in, need to be tested, need to be sacrificed, need to be destroyed. Then it adds to the cost, and then you go, okay, so now in the shop, this helmet is $2,500, and you go online and you find somebody who can sell it for maybe a good 30-40% discount, maybe for, because number one, it doesn't need to go through the test. Yeah. So from the seller's perspective, go, this is not worth it. It's not going to, the sums won't add up.
Yeah.
And I think so. These are all the concerns behind. So it's a very much a structural thing that is slowing down or can we say depriving users from having this choice. Yeah.
Man, it's scary, man, because the past few days I've been having like motorcycles whiz by, in traffic. You know how they just cut through traffic, and I've seen like one or two almost, get kind of swept, aside by these cars who don't see them coming. And I guarantee you, these are all the and I've seen the license plates. These are the workers from Johor, based on their license plate. And I'm looking at them, and I'm sure the majority of them are not wearing legit helmets, quite frankly. Anyway, let's continue this conversation with Nian Tjoe on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Ella Henderson with Ghost on Kiss 92.
I really do feel for the guys that you see whizzing home, because they've had a long day and they want to try and beat the traffic. They want to beat that causeway traffic jam that happens. And they have no choice but to, not no choice, but they want to speed and they want to get home early. But a lot of the cars don't give two hoots about these motorbikes as well.
Actually, for us, because we don't ride bikes, right? I don't think we have the mentality and the bravery that they have. Because the more I see the way they ride, and I saw someone yesterday on that Vespa, right, with the Dumb and Dumber helmet, right? And behind him, guess what? Is his probably 70-year-old mother.
Oh, yeah.
Not wearing the Dumb and Dumber helmet. She was wearing a proper helmet. But you see, would you have your mom ride on your bike?
No.
Was she also wearing a Dumb and Dumber helmet, or
I just said she wasn't.
She wasn't.
She was wearing a normal.
Yeah, she was wearing a normal, but still.
Yeah.
Still, I wouldn't have a 70-year-old mom on the back of my bike.
She's okay riding a bike. I would never ride pillion or ride a bike because I'm not brave enough. Because just one accident could cost you your life.
Yeah.
Would we ever have motorcycle lanes, you think?
I don't. That's a big one.
No,
some countries do have them.
Yeah, I don't think
countries
we'll ever
have
see
them. But I think like you look at the Malaysian side.
I think the
motorcyclists.
like how the emergency lane also doubles as a bike lane,
road shoulder, right?
Yeah, the road shoulder. I think that's a big conversation. But if you look at the rules for motorcycles, even in Singapore, is different from, say, if you were be riding in Australia or something.
Yeah.
Or somewhere further north. Because one practice that we accept here is lane splitting. Right? That's when you have bikes that are like green lanes. Right? And
Which is right on the dotted line, you mean?
kind of
Yeah.
on
Right,
the,
okay, yeah.
Although bikers tell me actually the white strips are not it's not safe. Can be slippery.
Yes, when it's
Yeah.
wet, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, the paint. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that there's all these rules that exist, and then there can be changes. That's for sure. You can always be evolving it. But I think on the point about would you put your mother at the back of your Vespa, I was just thinking, come on, what if you cannot get a Grab ride,
Yeah.
and then you all, for whatever circumstance, and you say that hey, this is just a short ride, why not?
It's your only mode
Yeah.
of transport.
Oftentimes the risks or accidents happen because you thought it's just a short ride, it's a small thing, no problem, I just cut this corner. I don't think the fault is on person with the Dumb and Dumber helmet and all that. It's the fact that this is what I have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so all these circumstances, and now I think coming back to this rule change or this standards change is that the ideal state will be one where you lower the barriers such that people can have access to good helmets. They can do the right thing. They can do the right thing in the accepted way, right? Because a couple of bikers I spoke with, they say, I actually got non-approved helmet in that secretive voice. But it's because they say that I know this helmet is tested, this is good. I bought this when I was abroad, a legit shop and all these concerns. And the frustration is, look, I bring it back to Singapore and say that, hey, this thing's illegal. I didn't buy a cheap helmet, mind you. I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm just trying, not even being cool. I really want it for my safety. A lot of these guys that I speak with say that they do a lot of rides into Malaysia.
Okay.
So bikers have another mentality, which is that short ride, comfortable. Long ride, I want protection or some kind of variants of that. So usually they have more than one helmet and for different purposes, right? And if the rules or the environment does not allow you to have the best, then there'll be people who decide to take a risk, right? And this thing with full face helmets, helmets is the one that you really should be using because they give you more protection than one that isn't having that guard
chin
over,
bar,
over your chin and jaw, right? So this sort of helmets used to be hard to get approvals. Now they're starting to become more prevalent. But even so, there are different features that helmets that can be built into a helmet. Just it comes with development. It's the way the technology progresses, right? And this is where I think the people setting the standards need to catch up, right? Where you say that okay, so we need to recognize that out there are helmets that can do this. We need to find a way to make sure that what they purport to do is safe for the conditions. And it's not just for bikers here, but I think about it's for everyone else who's on the road.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it's an evolving topic. I think it's an important one, especially when it comes to we always think that on the roads you look at the most vulnerable.
Yeah, which are the bikes?
Yeah.
So now full face helmets are allowed.
If you're approved, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think at one time it wasn't, right? You were saying?
Yeah, even the other thing was visors, right? Remember visors that
The tinted visors
Yes, how
and
much
all that,
tints can you
yeah.
allow and all that. It's all been worked in, and this has been around for a long time.
I think because maybe they're afraid these motorcycles will just ride by, ladies and steal their handbags.
It wasn't so much that. If you go back to the 1980s when they first brought in the ban on all this stuff, it was because they were used in bank robberies.
Bank robberies, yeah, that was.
There you go. So I'm
They
sure
were-
all
so you
that was
can't
taken into
see
consideration.
the person's face. Yeah. That was the issue.
Yeah. If you go back to the origins of helmet regulations in Singapore, it also there is a lot of there was pushback talking about freedom. Just as for people who drive, it's about putting on a seatbelt. So I'm not trusting my own driving competence and all that, right? So when there was discussion on putting a requirement to wear helmets were not the done thing. You don't need a helmet way back before my time. And then putting in these rules, there were all these protests going like, this is taking away our freedom. Right? And where we at today is we move from freedom to this is my safety, and now I want better safety. I want to be I'm more aware of these things.
It's so nice that we are looking out for motorcyclists.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
As
here
we
on this show.
should, yeah.
Because frankly, I think here in Singapore, I think people don't care about motorcyclists.
There's no space on the road in Singapore.
They don't
for
care. I mean,
cyclists,
how many
think.
times, I'm talking to you, the driver, you're driving and then you see this motorcycle like whizzing by, speeding and all that, and you're thinking in your head like, okay,
Idiot.
one of these days, I think this guy is going to meet with an accident.
True.
In my head, I'm like idiot because you're going so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
straight away. Yeah.
So I think motorcyclists here and cyclists are not respected.
So rules on the road. I mean, cyclists obviously they got to keep to the left and all that. What about motorbikes? They can go all the way to the right lane. They have any lane that they want.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's about holding up traffic, right? Getting in the way of the next person. But I'm not a big fan of rules personally.
Okay.
You're
You
more
and
a
everybody
common
else.
sense person. Right?
I mean, yes. So the common sense will be which is safer. I mean, yes, the lane splitting, the zipping in and out which is more expedient. But I think which makes more sense, right? I mean, if you go by the letter of the law, you cross this line and by your tire just touch a little bit of the double white line. Oh no, you're in trouble. It doesn't make sense. Right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, if you go into, I've spoken with people who do defensive driving training, for example, and they go like, you need to take a little bit edge, a little bit out of the lane marking, but you get a better view. That's better for safety.
Okay, let's go on and talk about common sense. Here you go. Chapel Roan, hot to go right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. You're tuned in to The Big Show and The Big Show TV, and our guest right now is the senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe. And we were talking about common sense.
Yes, got some.
Everybody needs a little common sense.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about motorcyclists and how in other countries they're not allowed to travel on the line
Between lanes.
Yeah, between
right
lanes.
between lanes.
Yeah.
But here in Singapore, I mean, it's allowed. I think it's allowed in most countries, right?
Well, at least near us.
Okay.
In the neighboring countries, that's quite common. And if you think about it, a lot of times, also the context of motorcycle being used in the city, right? In urban areas where congestion is a big deal. I mean, why would you have a bike cost the site if the bike can't get you there faster than a car than a truck?
Like your Bangkok, Jakarta, Vietnam, and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Taiwan. That's a big.
Yeah,
that's a big
that's
bike
huge.
country.
And they also
Yeah.
get training in motorcycle school as well. I saw once, they have to balance on a very
On a
thin
beam.
plank,
The plank,
or
yes.
beam.
Yeah.
Isn't that to prep them for traveling between lanes?
I think
I
it's
think
just
that's a balance.
Yeah, it's just a balance
And
thing.
position,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Positioning and balance.
Yeah. But I think back to common sense and the expectation of, or rather the respect for the different parts of, different kind of users on the road. I mean, oftentimes you go like, you get example, I'm driving, this bike gets in front of me, you kind of like utter almost a curse. But look, if you could get in front, you want to get in front too, right? I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Right.
But I think ultimately the responsibility also falls on each part of this transport system, whether it's the driver, it is the rider, it is even the pillion. I mean, how many times these days when I was working on this story, I go like, what is that person not only not having a legal approved helmet, the pillion is busy on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, surely you need to be a bit more engaged if you're a pillion because you're part of that whole balancing situation on the bike,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And I think riders, not also in this environment or this time where whether you're riding or driving, you're easily distracted. Whether you have music in your ears or you have fumbling with your screens for navigation or you got a text and what have you. I mean, you could well be watching TikTok while you're riding these days.
Yes,
Yeah, you could
I've
be.
had but private hire drivers that are watching live streaming and playing games and all that while they're driving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And back to that
Yeah.
rule thing, I don't believe that you could put in enough softwares and hardwares to stop people from doing this. There's always a way to get around it.
Yeah.
But if the user have that frame of mind to go like, okay, this is not responsible, then you're not gonna fire up your phone and get to these sites or use these apps.
I just want to say that as much as possible, I always give way to motorcyclists and stuff like that because they're smaller
They
on
are,
the
yeah.
roads, right?
Yeah.
So my concern for them are the idiot drivers these days that we have on the roads. I think we've got some of the worst drivers here in Singapore, quite frankly. I just want to highlight this. I've been observing more and more. Some people are traveling in the overtaking lane, using it like it's a normal lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number of cars in terms of the gap that they are giving, while in the overtaking lane is ridiculous.
It's not much, yeah.
Some of them are like 5 cars away from the next car in the overtaking lane. How does that make sense? I have to, and many other cars have to go to the left to overtake these people who are in the overtaking lane, just to get in front of them. And the moment you get in front of them and you kind of like look in your rear view mirror, you know how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
As in how far away they are. I mean, of course you got to keep a safe braking distance
I think it's
and all that.
3 cars, right?
It doesn't matter. It's common sense once again. This is the whole point, right? That I'm bringing up, because I agree with Nian Tjoe. When you're on the road, there are a lot of times where you just need to be aware of certain situations and sometimes use your common sense. You know what I mean? If you've got like a 5 to 6 car distance away, and sometimes even more. Let me just tell you, it's just getting so ridiculous. If you're in the overtaking lane listening to us right now and you're doing that, you're an idiot. Get out now.
Yeah.
Okay? Seriously, it's so dumb. It's like, have they even gone to driving school? Anyways.
Rant over?
A bit angry.
Calm down. Yeah. No, it says rant over. After this, he'll be all smiles.
One of these days, I'm going to flip a bird.
That's illegal.
That's illegal.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
correct.
They have these lights that you can have them do for you.
That's why I don't do these
Have you
things.
seen them?
Anyway. Okay. Anything else to add to today's topic?
Well, I mean, with the helmets, I'm looking forward to updates to this, that we're going to get even this opportunity for just bikers out there to get better helmets.
Oh, great.
I mean, the now you're going to have choice, then you can't take the shortcut and not get the best that you can afford.
We want to
Right.
protect them.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Protect yourself at all times, okay? Look after yourself, because you're very vulnerable on motorcycles. All right, thank you very much, Nian Tjoe, for joining us.
Thank you.
Up next, Ryton and Carlo. This is Fake ID on KISS 92.
369